welcome back to Mystic Moon Magic, where we talk everything spiritual, paranormal, horror, Halloween, spooky, law of attraction. We cover it all here. And if you haven't joined this community, I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already. So today we're going to be talking about the new release of one of my favorite horror franchises. As if you already know me, I love the Halloween franchise, but this is my second favorite, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Netflix just released a sequel to that on Friday. So I was really excited to watch this movie. And first of all, let me just put the disclaimer. This is going to be a review with spoilers. Okay, if you didn't catch that on the thumbnail. So if you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to know, then you probably shouldn't watch this video. So with that said, I don't know even where to start. Let me just say that I was very disappointed. Okay, we'll start with that. Now, a quick little footnotes about the synopsis of this movie. The two main characters are these two sisters that are moving to start a new business with one of their partners. Or one of the sisters actually, but the main characters are their sisters. So they go into this town of Harlow, Texas, to build the community of their whatever it is. I can't even remember exactly what they're starting the business of, but they go into this town. Okay, let me back up a little bit because there were so many parts in here that I was just like, oh my God, like really? First off, the CGI in this movie was horrible. In the gas station, like in the original, if you've seen the original in 1974, they have the gas station scene, so they do have cut into that. I know I'm all over the place with this, okay, but it is a sequel to the original, which I really loved. I like the opening part of it, where they do the little bit of the history, and they bring in another character from the original, which is Sally, which was the only, if you remember in the movie, she was the only survivor that ended up getting away. Okay, so they bring her in. It's not the same actress, but they do bring that character back into this one. And in the gas station is where kind of they bring in the history of what happened in the original. So they're at the gas station scene, and then when they go into the car to travel to the town of Harlow, they're driving, and the whole backdrop was, you can completely see in the background that it's fake. And I thought that was just completely awful that they could have done a better job with that, in my opinion. But that was one of the things. They arrived to the town of Harlow. Again, this town looks like the backlot of Universal Studios, which it probably was, but it just didn't look like a town. It didn't look like a town that you would think remotely would look like something in Texas, like back in, in the original, he lived in a farmhouse. But besides the point, I thought that was kind of cheesy. The whole movie, and I'll get to that part, but the whole movie I thought was very millennial-like. They incorporated a lot of the original movie scenes that kind of took off from this sequel, or that were trying to take off in the sequel, but it was very modernized at the same time that I didn't really care for. But I get it, we're living here now, and I think it was 50 years later, and I get it that, it has to be to this century. So they arrive, and, I guess he was being taken care of in an orphanage by this old lady, or this older lady. And she ran the orphanage for many, many years, and he has been there with her. So he kind of sees her as a mother figure. But I'm not going to go into that whole story, but these are kind of the worst parts, okay, that I'm bringing out. As far as the CGI, the backlot, the whole setting, the whole storyline, I thought was terrible. You know, that then they bring in some investors that want to invest in their business, and they're holding like this opening for their business in the city of Harlow, and they have this, they arrive in a party bus it's like an old raggedy old bus, and then when you get inside, it's like, you know, there's music bumping, and just, I mean, it's cheese, okay? It's just completely, and then they're all bringing out their phones, and, you know, it's very, like I said, very modern times. They're like influencers or whatever, and they're going live. It was just, I don't know. I mean, you can't really not a remake, but you can't pick up a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974 and throw it into this mix like in modern day times. It just, to me, it didn't work, okay? It just didn't work. I get that there was a lot of remakes that have come from this, but I don't know. I just thought it was really cheesy. Those were the good parts, or the cheesy parts, the ones that I didn't really care for. The good, only thing that I thought that I liked, in my opinion, the kills are they're brutal. They're out of this world. They're really, really good. 18 minutes into the movie, he starts killing. And the way he's doing it, you know, killing somebody with their own limbs, you know, and I thought that was a great part in the movie. The way that was written was absolutely, amazing. So I really enjoyed that part where, you know, they're very brutal and they're very gory. So if you don't like brutal, gory stuff, you might want to skip this one. But to me, that was the only really good part. He played, the character that played Leatherface was good. The mask I didn't really care for. It was okay. I know people are making fun of it now. It was all right. It was, you know, I don't know. It was okay for me. But in the ending, overall, I didn't care for the movie. I rated it probably a 3 out of 10, only because of the kills were absolutely just out of this world. They were everything that you would expect in a Chainsaw Massacre movie. The ending was surprising to me. It was, you know, the two sisters are the only survivors. He kills everybody, all the investors or whatever they are. He kills everybody in town except for the two sisters. But at the end, he ends up getting one of them. And I thought that was a great ending. I think they did well with that. That was pretty well written because it was very unexpected. They seemed like they were going to get away, and at the last minute, he grabs her out of the car and beheads her. So that was good. But if you guys missed this, if you guys didn't watch till the end after the credits, here's another spoiler. They show him walking home to his old farmhouse. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So what's happening here? Is there going to be another part to this? I guess we'll wait and see, but that was exciting. But I hope they make it a little bit better where it's not so modernized, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I like to stick to the originals, and maybe that's just me. I like seeing the old, you know, horror, you know, brought into, even though it's modernized still. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. I'm missing a big part of this, which Sally, remember I was talking about the old character? That was another cheesy thing. Like they kind of ripped that off from another movie, if you know what I'm talking about. You know, does that sound very familiar to you? She comes back. She's like, I waited 50 years for this. And she's on a vengeance to kill him. Sound like another movie that you may have just not too long ago seen. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my other review, my previous one to this one, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But she doesn't end up living that long anyway. Okay, another cheesy part. Sorry, now they're all coming back to me. But how long do these people live for? Like, you know, the guy, the partner that was supposed to partner with her, he gets like sliced up and is, you know, bleeding profusely on the ground for minutes. I mean, how much blood does this guy have till he bleeds out? He actually gets up and starts walking outside for minutes until he finally collapses. No, that doesn't work for me, okay? Sally, when she's getting killed, she gets a saw in her, chopping her basically in half for several minutes and doesn't die. You know, she goes and she finally decides to pull out her rifle and start talking and give it to one of the girls, and that, okay. Seriously, here's another. Seriously, like that's really happening. Anyways, so those are the cheesy parts. Those are the parts that I didn't like. I didn't like the movie overall, like I said, and I was very disappointed just because I love this franchise. But I don't know, would I be watching if there's the next one? Probably. But, you know, it is what it is. You can't remake a movie. You know, you can only do it so many times. And I like the way that they did that, and they incorporated it as a sequel to the original because they brought in a lot of the parts. So it's really good in that sense. But the story was cheesy. I can't say that enough because it was really, I mean, awful, to be honest. So if you missed the credits at the end, watch after the credits, go back and watch it, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. And I like the way they left it off that way. So anyway, there was my review. And if you want to watch it, go watch it. But, you know, I actually had to watch it twice, to be honest with you, because the first time I watched it, I lost interest halfway through the movie. And I was getting bored, honestly. But the only good thing was that he kept killing throughout the whole movie, so that kept my interest. Second time around, it was a little bit better, but still it just confirmed all the parts that I didn't like. But anyway, there's my review. And if you want to go watch it, I wouldn't recommend it. If you like the gory killing stuff, then go watch it because of that, because it does have a lot of that. So that was good. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.